Delighted to say, as promised, at the top of the show, we're joined live by Chris Silverwood, Essex Director of Cricket. It's been it's been quite the journey over the last couple of years, Spoons, with the ILT20, and not to mention your time in international cricket with Sri Lanka. But is it? I would imagine that, despite it being midwinter, you're very much looking forward to the summer.
Absolutely, it's nice to be back as well. It almost feels like coming home a little bit. I don't suppose I ever truly left, because even when I did move on to obviously do other things, obviously with the international scene and everything, I still very much kept in touch with Essex and what was going on here, and never really lost that connection with the club. So coming back sort of feels natural almost, and certainly something I'm really looking forward to. Having spent time with a few of the pros that we've got at home, but I've managed to spend a lot of time with the academies, the EPPs, and the age groups and things like that, really. So it's been nice. I've been able to get stuck in so far anyway, with just about everything to do with the club. And it's, to come back, get the feet under the table again, has been really nice. Just need the weather to perk up a little bit now.
Yeah, the weather would be nice. It would be.
Would,
but
yeah.
You've just really answered my first question, because I was going to ask you, what are you? Are you director of cricket or are you coach? Because director of cricket, to me, sometimes means a man in a suit that's, pushing numbers around offices and, making sure budgets are fed. And then the coach is the man that goes and just does the day-to-day. But in some counties, they're a little bit of both. Mags was both, who you took over from. What are you going to be? Are you going to be, has Essex just got enough money to appoint Chris Silverwood and you've got the whole lot to do?
Well, at the moment, mate, I am both. I will be, as it stands, I am doing the sort of budgets, working alongside with the chief exec here, and looking after all that. But I'll be looking after the day-to-day cricket as well, from first team, second team, all the way down, really. And that's how it will start at the moment. Obviously, as time goes on and I get my feet further under the table, I'll look to make a few changes, and maybe, all being well, we'll get to the stage where I will sort of step away from first team all the time, which will then allow me to do a little bit more of a director of cricket job. But as it stands at the moment, it's all hands on deck, and I'm on the coalface.
I do hope the staff watered your pot plants for the years that you were away, and looked after your office. Tell us a bit about the playing staff, then, Spoons. Obviously, that we were talking to Graham Swan a couple of weeks ago, and he was highly complimentary about Sam Cook, because I asked the question that, the pathway into the England team seems to have changed, and it's less now dependent on performances in county cricket and more, well, I don't know, Lions and A team and under 19s and that kind of thing. But you've still got Simon Harmer and a couple of big names who've been knocking on the championship door for a long time now. Yeah. Are there young players coming through as well? Can we expect the usual Essex challenge?
I would hope so, yes. I mean, that's certainly the aim of everybody that's here at the moment. I think we used the term "make our presence felt" last time we got promoted into the first division last time I was here. But I think certainly everybody expects the challenge, and that's what they want to do. Everybody from the senior pros, like you've just spoken about, to the guys that your Coxers, your Fanes, your Peppers, all these guys that are sat there, to the youngsters coming through. We're not operating on the biggest squad, obviously, on the county circuit. We appreciate that, but we do feel that the quality is there to make sure that we punch above our weight again, which is exactly what we intend to do. You're right. I mean, when it comes to Cookie, we've got a fine bowler there. And I mean, just speak about him for a second. He's been away with the Lions in Australia. He's done well there. He's shown his quality out there, what he can actually do on the Australian pitches. Year in, year out, he's produced in county cricket here. He's put the performances in. He's done that, all around the country. He's played on all the grounds and showed that regardless of conditions, on what wickets, flat, spicy, wherever it may be, he can bowl. And his numbers sort of speak volumes for him, really. So for me, I know I'm slightly biased being sat here at Essex, but I'd love to see him make his England debut. I really would, and I think he deserves it. But obviously, those decisions are left to other people. But I think Sam's done everything he can possibly do to put his best foot forward there.
Yeah, we spoke to Sam. It was just after the first Kookaburra round last year, where all the talk of the Kookaburra ball and the flatter pitches and 78 mile an hour, 82 mile an hour bowlers don't work. And I think he got something ridiculous. I mean, these ridiculous figures were, did he get 8? He got 8 or 9 in the match, and he really showed that everybody else around the country was struggling with the Kookaburra ball, but his skill set showed that. And I think that's when the Lions have obviously shown interest in the winter. But you've got a lot of players who are knocking on the door. You said you're punching above your weight, but the likes of the Peppers, the likes of Cox and Cook especially, there are players that are knocking on the door from Essex, and it shows from the way you've sort of performed in the last few years. Where do you see Essex's challenge first, early part of the season? Because you said you didn't have a big squad. There's a lot of cricket in that first sort of 2 months.
There is, and I mean, I think it's been spoken about before, but one of the things that we have to do is, I mean, if you get behind, obviously, Cook, Snater, Porter, we've got a couple of youngsters coming through from a fast bowling, but I think we need to really strengthen that fast bowling depth. And I mean, it's not just an immediate challenge; it's something that we're going to have to really concentrate on now for the next 2-3 years. Make sure we build up those stocks again. So actually, we're not over reliant on the big three that we have there. I think Shardul coming in will really help us. In that first championship block, it means we can actually go in with 4 seamers now and Harmer and still bat deep, which I think will give us the best firepower early on. And it takes some pressure off Harmer because I mean, we have been a little bit over reliant at times on Harmer, and obviously we expect him to take wickets. But when you've got people like Cook and Porter in there now, Shardul, and obviously Snates and that, then I mean they can take on some of that responsibility as well, and because they're more than capable. I mean, Cookie we've just been talking about, but there's some very capable bowlers within that bowling attack. So I mean, let's give them their head as well, and they all become wicket takers then, because we have to bowl sides out. But I think long term, we have to look to build the bowling stocks back up, and then obviously beyond that as well, we have to make sure that we have a replacement for Harmer at some point as well, because I mean, we can't. It's not going to go on forever. And we've got to be smart enough to say, right, okay, well, when Harmer does go, it'd be a huge gap. How are we going to fill that gap? And we have to work very hard with our youngsters that are coming through to hopefully that may be a young Essex lad that can come in and do that.
Yes, I'm interested in your big picture view about county cricket, not just the championship. I mean, county cricket's been around for 150 years, and it's had its ups and downs, but now is a period of uncertainty and a certain amount of I don't know, unsettling developments for members. I'm talking about, the hardcore members. The sale of the 100 is all very bewildering, and there seems to be the growing divide between the big counties, the haves and the have-nots. Can you pour some oil on troubled waters and reassure everybody, reassure the members and us that everything's going to be all right?
Listen, I don't know how much reassurance I can give, because again, I've been spent at least 7-8 years out of county cricket. Coming back in, the landscape is definitely changing. There's no doubt about that. We're seeing that in the way that players are choosing to approach contracts as well. I mean, we're seeing people pulling out of county cricket, pulling out of English cricket to then go around and bounce around playing franchise cricket. The fact is, we're never going to put that monster back in its box. It's there. There is good money to be had by these players going around the world. You can't blame them for wanting to do that. Some of them at the stages that they're at, but it does mean it's difficult, and it's hard to make sure that we're keeping hold of our best players and getting them out on the county circuit for us. The sale of 100, it's going to be an interesting couple of months to see how those funds get sort of dispersed amongst the counties and see what actually comes out in the wash there. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting couple of months watching that one. I'm curious to see how it all pans out myself, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not the only one, because this show has not exactly been a big cheerleader for. I've not exactly had my pom poms out for 100, to be honest.
It's fair enough. I get that, to be honest. It's in some area, it depends who you're talking to, doesn't it? Some people think there's going to be a big windfall for counties, which will really help them. Others, I'm hearing that maybe that money is not going to leave leave ECB pots, and we're going to have to apply for that money to obviously put into development or wherever that may be. I think there certainly does have to be a certain amount of ring fencing where the money goes on to make sure it's spent wisely and smartly, and it goes towards bolstering county cricket and making it sustainable for many years to come. I think from that point of view, it's a positive thing to make sure that we've got cricket out there available to the members and the fans that are watching, and to keep it at a good standard as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it all pans out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun and games. But you said earlier on about the sort of hats you're having to wear. You're director of cricket, then maybe stepping away a little bit. You talked about trying to, build the stocks of your fast bowlers. Does that money, you sitting here right now, do you feel as though, because let's be fair, the haves have got the sort of the bigger pot, but the have-nots have got to make sure they spend that wisely, whatever they get. Is your sort of future proof, Chris Silverwood, with your coach and director of cricket hat on, is give us that money, make sure that we build a future for young Essex cricketers who can make sure that we will challenge the haves, and we will make sure we keep doing what we're doing in the last sort of 5 years, which is a team who's not got a test venue but have been right at the top of English first-class cricket.
Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do, and it's a conversation that obviously myself, the chief exec, and the people involved with cricket here at Essex are talking about. We're never going to compete with the test grounds on money, but what we can do is produce the best systems possible that keeps bringing through those young Essex cricketers. The girls and the boys. We're bringing them, we're producing them, we're playing entertaining cricket out on the park, and we're producing England cricketers, which is ultimately what we all want to do. And if we're doing that, it means Essex will become sustainable for many years to come, and we want to put a system in place that outlasts me or anybody else that's here. Build something that people can pick up and run with, and that's what we're going to try and do. And to do that, we're going to have to be smart with what we've got, and we're going to have to use our imaginations at times. Just as I keep talking to the guys here, but we find solutions, we find ways of making things happen, and sometimes we're going to have to be slightly unconventional with that. But we've got to make it happen because we have to future-proof the club with what we have. And what I do know is we've got a lot of passionate people here in Essex that play cricket. And if we spread that to Suffolk, Norfolk, Cambridge, East London, and all these areas, all of a sudden we've got a big footprint. And the challenge is now, how do we get out there and how do we find these people? And how do we put a safety net in place for maybe the guys that just fall between the cracks a little bit? Maybe develop later. And like I said, we've just got to be smart, and some of it's not all about money. Some of it's just about making sure there's good systems and we have good people looking for, working with the youngsters, as well as working with the first-class team here as well.
And that's important, isn't it, Spoons? From around the country, that we talked, and we've been in the game for over 30 years. We've seen quite a bit from an international cricket to domestic cricket. Test cricket's been dying for 100 years. First class cricket's been dying for 150 years, and we're still here.
Yeah,
and they're still here. And the reason why we're still here is because we get cricketers from all four parts of this country. And I think you, as an international coach and a domestic coach, and now a director of cricket, it's important that 18 satellites, 15 minor counties are still having the passion and drive like you're talking about, because that's how we future-proof English cricket.
It is. You're 100% right. How else do we do it if we're not, putting the systems in place and supporting these people that are out there doing that? Then it's going to fall on its face, really, isn't it? Because there's no other way of doing it. We have to make it that we are attracting the youngsters into the game. There's role models there for them to follow, which is, we all have them growing up. We all have people we looked up to and said, right, we want to do that. So we've still got to produce those people that kids can look up to, and put the system in place that they can use as a pathway to get through to where they want to go. And we've talked a lot about players there, but I think we have to do the same with coaches as well, because we need people that are willing to give their time to actually do it. And we've all seen, I've watched sort of my kids come through in the junior system now. At club cricket, you need people doing it. They're doing it for nothing as well. So anything we can do to support the coaches while they're in those systems, to help them because they're the ones that are giving opportunities to start with to get these kids into cricket in the first place. I enjoyed watching the 100 last year. The thing I really enjoyed about it was how many families I saw at the ground. And again, it's a different sort of demographic that you're getting into the game. And I think anything we can do to spread it far and wide and to keep these people coming through for both men and women's cricket, we've got to keep doing it. We've got to find a way.
Final one from me, Chris. You mentioned Shardul Thakur, the Indian all-rounder. Two questions. Was he your pick? And do you know if he can bowl in 3 sweaters in April?
Maybe 4 swears.
Yeah.
No, he was. I mean, to be fair, he's a fine cricketer. We knew what we needed here at Essex. I mean, I needed a fast bowler that could be effective up front and take wickets. Obviously, have that skill set, but I wanted somebody that could bat as well. And he just fit the bill, to be honest. And it just so happened that I was sat with somebody in the ILT20 that had his telephone number as well, which really helped. He just put us in touch, and the rest of it's history, really. But from speaking to him on the phone, I think he's got a good character, and I think he will really help the dressing room. He's got, when we talk about people that have got passion and fire about playing, he wants to get back in that Indian Test team. And this is a great platform for him to do that. So he's coming, he's hungry. Like I say, his skill set will suit what we need, and I think he'll bring a lot of experience to some of our guys as well. Whether he enjoys the weather or not, we'll find out. I'm sure we can find more jumpers for him.